It's time for Modernity 7. The reason why it's been so long since the last one of these was done is because the last one was 8 months ago. I don't know why my voice sounds like this, but whatever. Like the song says, panic on the streets of London, panic on the streets of Birmingham, because something is happening all the way over in Ukraine that really should have no effect on us other than constant talking about it in the news. Like, no physical effect of it on us, but it does because people are blown out of proportion. That's not. I'm not exaggerating anything. Like, it is factual that you are exaggerating it because really we should not get involved because, as I've said before, it will just lead to more deaths. I've mentioned this before in one of the Twitter segments. The Ghost of Kiev does not exist. Like, when I first heard about it, I said, right, this is a good, I hope this is true. But I have a feeling that it's actually just a story that someone has made up to spread hope for the Ukrainian people. But then it actually came out that it was actually just a Photoshop of the American comedian Sam Hyde, who, no, he's not in Ukraine. So the Ghost of Kiev does not exist, sadly. Chilling pics reveal Russia's mobile crematoriums used to incinerate dead soldiers and hide true scale of Ukrainian war. Oh wait, posted August 26th, 2013. So no, this is not a. Okay, it could be a portable crematorium. It's in Russian, so I can't read the title. But the point is that it isn't. These photos do not come from now. They do not come from Ukraine. There's nothing to do with this, considering the video that the photos come from is from nearly 9 years ago. So I've talked about this before. Ukrainian warship tells Russian warship to go screw itself before they're all shot down and died. Okay, just a couple seconds ago, Paul showed his face, and I think that's actually the first time he's shown his face in a Modernity video. This right here, these are the Ukrainian soldiers who died, in air quotes. But this was taken after the video of them telling the Russian warship to go screw themselves. So they survived, and there were 2 people complaining about it. Cenk Uygur and someone else. These heroes died, except they're not dead. Boo-hoo. It's a good thing because you support Ukraine. Oh no, the people that you support are still alive.
Warship, go after yourself. Put yourself in that position. You know you're going to die. Go fuck yourself. Go after yourself.
It was Vosh, of course.
Those 13 men are dead. Those 13 men are dead. And they died heroes.
Psych! She's not a lesbian for peace, she turned lesbian.
I might have talked about this, I don't actually know. Ukrainian president fighting on the front lines as of the 24th of February 2022. But actually, it was him expecting the border on the 9th of April 2021. Almost a year ago. There's footage of a Ukrainian tank going around killing a bunch of innocents. People who don't look like they're military, as in wearing plain clothes. They're Ukrainian, innocent people who are from Ukraine. And this Ukrainian tank ran over and killed them. And all the media was saying that it was a Russian tank. No, it's a Ukrainian tank. Already talked about this one already. 71-year-old man is accused of inappropriately touching a minor. I mean, the only thing that they got wrong about that is the fact that Joe Biden is 79, not 71. Putin may swerve Kyiv with tanks. Kyiv, which is also how the English teacher pronounced it today as well. And I don't blame her, because I bet you that she has seen this and just automatically, put it in her head that it's pronounced Kyiv. It's not, it's pronounced Kiev. The same as, like chicken Kievs. They will never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people. Now I'm going to show this bit because I think this is a total fabrication, or not fabrication, just false.
Never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people. He'll never sing.
Not the bit of him saying Iranian people, because he did say Iranian people, but the fact that they think that she mouthed Ukrainian. Doesn't look like she mouthed Ukrainian. It looked like her lips were dry and she was trying to wet them. Nancy Pelosi being very awkward. This woman said that not only do we fight for Ukraine, we also fight for this new world order. Also, why does it look like she is wearing, like, the tabs on cans of Coke as earrings? Like, I have a can of Iron Brew here, and I'm looking at the tab of it, and it looks almost exactly like her earrings. So there was a journalist talking to... I'm going to close the window, I'm freezing here. Journalist talking to Boris Johnson, saying, we want the West to protect our skies, because... And she starts crying at this point, my entire family is dying and all that. And it turns out that she is a Biden-linked World Economic Forum global leader. Being linked to Biden is worse enough, but the fact that she works for the World Economic Forum... Like, if there's one organization I hate the most, it's probably, 99% most likely the World Economic Forum, because all they do is that they probably don't even read the books. And I'll be honest, I haven't read any of his books because I just haven't got around to it yet. Sweet. But what they do is that they'll watch, Philip K. Dick movies. Blade Runner, Minority Report, etc. And they'll take all the futuristic ideas in it and make them a reality. Because either A, they don't realise that, what Philip K. Dick is trying to say about all these things is that they're bad, or B, they do realise that it's bad and they're just pure evil. And I'll give you an example of something that made a reality. Minority Report. And this also happens in Black Ops 2. Bit where main character walks into a shop. And it's like, hello, Jack Anderson, you look thirsty. You want some Diet Coke? Jack Anderson is Tom Cruise's character. And then in Black Ops 2, in the mission where they're at that, floating paradise vacation thing, once they walk through reception or whatever, there's a couple of ads, and as soon as they walk close to those ads, and there's a guy on all of them, and as soon as they walk close, the face of the guy switches to the free Navy SEALs that are there. I'm going to assume this is pronounced Michael Antonio from West Ham, the same football team that had, what's the guy's name, Kurt Zouma, I think, who was kicking the cats around. Kurt Zouma is black. Michael Antonio is also black. So, just look at what he says.
Do you think what he's done is worse than racism?
I'm gonna simplify the question. What's worse, racism or animal abuse? If you think that the answer is racism, why? At NATO, diversity is our strength. Yeah, maybe in Rainbow Six, but not in real life. You know, I love Rainbow Six, so it's all coming from me. Just diversity does not matter in a war. Like, we'll have this, and say we do have World War III, and the military for us is 100% white, and the people here are complaining that it's 100% white, there's not enough black people. Basically, what you're saying is that there's not enough black people dying. That's a bit racist. Because all the people that are dying, I don't see them as all these white people dying, all these black people, all these black people dying, etc. I see them as people dying. British Ministry of Defence's response to the invasion of Ukraine. I think I've covered this as well because you're talking about asexual and pansexual. Leave my kind out. I do not want to be associated with these people. Is that homophobic? Yeah. So this is I'm just gonna assume it's a drag queen at a British. I forget what you call them, but when all the people, the band walk on the streets like this, and what's leading them is a drag queen, and it's gonna follow up with a clip from what I assume is Monty Python, and that clip accurately predicts what our military has become. Don't look now, cause the mayor's just minced it. Spies told, mind your privileged language. British spies have been encouraged to consider the white privilege and avoid gender terms such as manpower and a guide to improving diversity, inclusion, and security services reported last night. But what about the black spies? This is a high-ranking person in the military. I was against Donald Trump's transgender ban, banning trans people from joining the military, but now I'm starting to think he has a point. Because, banning trans people from joining the military, same as banning women from joining the military, it shouldn't really matter. Sorry, I'm just opening my window more because suddenly I'm warm again. Where was I? Right, so I don't have a problem with trans people being in the military, but the thing is that you shouldn't be wearing heels and all that. And I don't know what the sort of. I know that you get a military haircut. The boys do when they're entering the military. I don't know about girls though. I would assume it's the same. So I get that this person is bald, but there were other people with long hair get a cut. Or I think there are some women who just tied up in the middle of a firefight. But don't act trans on the battlefield. I know that's a very transphobic thing to say, but I don't care. Because you need to protect innocent people. I think this is from when the military was going across that college campus being forced to wear high heels. And if so, Paul really does need to specify that that's what it is. Otherwise, he's going to be a hypocrite considering he was pointing out all the hypocrisy from the media. But wearing high heels is terrible in the middle of a firefight because they're heels. People stumble on them all the time. Also, continuing on about my point about trans soldiers, the enemy doesn't care that you're trans. If they see you, they will shoot you. Okay, I don't think I talked about this, but I have seen it when I was, when my mom was driving me home after my driving lesson yesterday. Whoops. So, some supermarkets are changing chicken KIEVS to chicken KYIVS because the place in Ukraine. Both of these words, by the way, are pronounced Kiev, not Kiev. So you have all the celebrities saying, "Oh, I stand with Ukraine." You know, Youngblood on TikTok, Lady Gaga in some interview where they were actually talking about her dress, but she said that her dress was actually hers showing support for Ukraine, but like it was just a white dress. Unless I'm colorblind all of a sudden. Putting lights up in buildings or outside buildings in like Manchester, that are the color of the Ukraine flag, all that in order to try and get Putin to stop, and also tweeting at him going, "You're evil." Not even you're evil, just you're bad. All in a hope to get him to just stop, just pull out. But it achieves nothing, like this girl's about to say.
I was thinking of posting any kind of poetry, sonnet, Shakespeare text, or Wind Beneath My Wings, sung in different keys and then mashed together in some hideous montage in order to help the people of Ukraine. Please don't. It doesn't serve anyone, it just makes you look like a dick. What you could do are two things. Either shut the fuck up and don't do anything, or you could donate some money to the Ukraine people and make sure that they're getting enough supplies and food and being looked after. They're the two things you should do. The poetry, sonnets, and Shakespeare is something you should steer very clear of. So, to recap, no poetry, no sonnets, no singing ridiculous songs. Just be quiet and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's another thing. US and Canada are just banning vodka in general. I don't know where we get our vodka from, but I'd like to imagine that it's not 100% all from Russia. I get that it originates from Russia. It's, the national drink of Russia, I guess. It is heavily associated with Russia, all that, but I mean, Vladimir Putin breathes air. I also breathe air. So I guess I better stop breathing air. Because that would make me. Just me and Putin have so much in common. Because we breathe air. Anyway. Yeah, stuff like that. Banning Russia from the Olympics. Banning Russia from Eurovision. All that. Thing is, Putin doesn't really lose anything from that. You're punishing innocent Russian people. Because, singers for Eurovision and all the athletes and whatnot for the Olympics, they're being punished because of something Putin did. And if it were happening to us, we would complain if, say Boris or Biden, let's say Boris and Biden invaded Ukraine and the Olympics banned us from participating, bans from Eurovision, stop selling scotch and all that, kick McDonald's and all the American fast food restaurants out of all the countries, we would complain. So basically, it's the fact that someone else is screwed up, because there's this, after I posted my Ukraine is George Floyd thing, there was a Muslim guy who liked it. I clicked on a story and he was posting a bunch of stuff and it was just fantastic. Because basically what our anger of what's happening right now boils down to is someone else is doing it, because when America does it, or us, or whatnot, we don't talk about it. Obama, Biden, Trump, a couple times were bombing people. No one complained. And I bet you if you talk to most people who, say they love Biden, love Obama and all that, Trump, maybe not, if you tell them that they were doing all that, they would either deny it or be shocked. And they would immediately go back to still supporting Obama and Biden. Anyway. Okay, so it just gave me a statistic. Only 1.2% of all vodka that enters the US comes from Russia. So you're also punishing non-Russian vodka companies. In case of a nuclear explosion, FEMA, which by the way is the number 2 killer of black people besides chopsticks, warns to try to keep 6 feet social distance and wear a mask for Corona. You can't make this up. Because you can't. And I know that Nick's going off, doesn't apocalypse, but like, imagine a fallout. You meet someone, and they immediately go, put your mask on, you're gonna get me Corona. And they look like that bartender that looks like an asshole, literally, from Fallout 3. Because Corona is the least of his concerns. Remember this woman? Yeah, it's been a while because of Russia. For those who don't remember, this woman bragged. She's a comedian. She was bragging on stage about how she was double vaccinated, had the booster, had her flu vaccine or flu shot, whatever. All these other shots. She was doing this, and that. She's feeling great, and then she almost immediately faints on stage, and people were laughing at her because they thought that, that she was trying to say that the vaccine is dangerous. But no, she genuinely fainted. Although, Paul, the reason why she fainted is because she was running exclusively off of cans of Red Bull. She didn't eat anything. So, nothing to do with the vaccine. She's taking it like a champ. This is her after she's recovered and all that. She's saying, well, I'm not taking the 4th booster now. I can't find it, but there was a scene from Mock the Week that accurately describes what's going on. Or at least this is my perception of what it is. I can't really describe why this is my perception, but basically, it was like, our best hope is that they kill enough of us to the point where they feel bad.